Hey everybody, GL1 here, and welcome to my online toy museum. So today I'm going to talk about Voltron. Now, I didn't watch the Voltron cartoon growing up, and I saw the first episode of the Netflix Voltron, which was 8 seasons, which to me is pretty unbelievable. The initial Voltron was only 2. All right, so what I have here is the old classic Voltron, the large one right here, broken down into its 5 lions. And this is what it would look like all put together. So this is a small version of the big 5 lion Voltron. And Voltron, it looks really exactly like this, is a gigantic robot in space. Okay, so you can see even the sword is the same design. So this is very much the same. And it even has the buttons. You push a button and the lion head shoots off, the green and the red. But I put a bungee on there so it accidentally fire off, because it tends to do that. And there he is from the back. So each lion has a number. So in the cartoon, what I learned is that the central lion is the main lion, the largest, the most powerful, the most difficult to fly, perhaps. It seems like it's a toss-up between whether the red lion is more difficult to fly, but they said something else said the black was. So the leader is the black lion, and what the lions are semi-autonomous, from what I gather. But I sort of have a mind of their own, or they do actually, but they're also controlled by a person that rides inside them. Now, these older Voltron here from the 80s does not have a little ship or person that fits inside. And this, I tell you, I lucked out on this. Now, these are metal and plastic. And as you can see, they're in really good condition. The chrome has not washed off or withered away. This is all metal. I have all the missiles they fire. The stickers are still on. And the way I lucked into this is there's a secondhand store near me that early on when they opened up used to get really great stuff. A lot of really great stuff. And I got a lot of great stuff from there. And this was sitting there for like $50, which was still a steal, because I think the price at the time was like $200. And one of the pieces just needed to be screwed together. And because of that, they gave it to me for $35. So I got this awesome Voltron. I mean, this is also, here's the green lion. And you can see, again, it's metal. It has a joint in the center. These rockets fire off. It just pegs in there. You can take that on and off. But you see it has little buttons on the back to make them shoot. And then it has the mouth. And the head fires off. So you push this button. The head is spring-loaded. See the spring in there? So I guess that's also how you'd scratch your toy up, though, firing it onto a hard surface. Look, you have actually a metal rivet in there, and good, like kind of a ratcheted joint. And the red lion, yeah, it was supposed to be from the cartoon, like really feisty and difficult to control. But you can peg on these accessories. See, so you can, this has like a little, like a flathead screwdriver, and that pegs in there. And then on the other side, there's like a blade, okay, and that pegs in. And so all of these lions obviously fit together into probably like a 13-inch tall Voltron. So this one's probably about 9 inches. And here, take a look at this. Well, that piece doesn't stay on too well. Oh, there's also a trick. Oh, that's something. Okay, 2 things I want to show you. So sometimes when stuff doesn't fit in really well, you can take a piece of tin foil. I used to use like toilet paper, then I use saran wrap, but tin foil seems to work really well. So you can take something and tinfoil it and then get a little bit of a tighter seal on there. I'm going to have to try that again. But then to hold things on, because that one doesn't stay on really well, but I could do an even better job. All right, so here's something unique, and this is going to come to another understanding later when I show you something else. So this is supposed to fire a disc, all right? The new Voltron, the legendary Voltron cartoon on Netflix, has a lion that shoots discs, and so does this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But it's the yellow lion on the toy, the new toy. This one, the way this works is you take this disc and try not to drop it. It's very small. And then you stick it in there, and this is spring-loaded, and you pull this lever back and let that go, and then it shoots out. Which, I mean, I could see how you could lose those discs. They're really small. But it really works. So that's pretty cool. And then you have all these other rockets, and here's like another shield, like a cutting wheel. And then you have the big lion. All right, here's the big one. All right, and so he's got like a metal piece there that actually the arms fit on. And then these, you can leave these in there. And then a big missile. And then it even has missiles here that fire. There's a little yellow button for those. And then his head's inside there. And then that just, let's see if we can fold that down. I think, and then you have to pull that down with your finger. There you go. All right. And then there's Voltron's head in there. Okay. And it's kind of, I don't know if I can get that to come down a little bit. Oh, there. Yeah, it goes back a little more. Okay. So there's Voltron in there. And we can see it looks just like the small one. Yeah, it looks just like the small one. The small one's black and this one's blue. Actually, the small one has a little bit more detail. It has some red up by the bridge of the nose and over the brow ridge. All right, so I will convert this for you. This has metal as well. And as you can see, the chrome is really in good condition. And here's the big cutting shield, that cutting wheel. And one of the lions, you put that in its mouth and it holds it. So here is the manual, Lion Bot. Okay, I love the writing. Wonderful combination, system of 5 lions. Like they're telling you it's wonderful. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, okay. I didn't know. And then it even tells you this fascinating robot has the head and limbs of the king of beasts. So you're going to sit there and go, oh my gosh, this is really fascinating. You know, it's not just cool or something or, you know, a duh kind of thing. No, it has to tell me. It's fascinating. You'll sit there and ponder it. And then when it pulls apart, he becomes 5 colorful lions. And there you go. And it also tells you no batteries required. So that's pretty cool. So here's all the, instructions, which don't tell you everything. And, they tell you the blue lion and the red lion. I don't think they told you how to put those discs in and fire them. Let's see. And then you could see all of it fits together like that. And, yeah. Okay, so yeah, they tell you which missile goes into which ones that fire. There's little triggers on the back to unhook the legs. But I think they don't tell you about the discs. This shows that it's supposed to fire. That's the blue one that doesn't stay in very well. It has, you see the button, it's supposed to be able to take a missile, I guess, but it does not. Okay, so here's, they call it a missile. That's confusing. It's a disc. And they don't really show you very well. You're really left on your own with firing that disc. But, actually I was able to figure it out because of the new one. So, all right. So there you go. That's, going through that manual. I think that's a pretty cool manual and kind of fun. And then here you have a bunch of extra missiles in case you lose them. And you can see there's the extra discs in there. All right. And here we go. I'm going to show you the new legendary Voltron. And I have a small version to show you first. So this is practically all metal. So this is what the new legendary Voltron looks like. Now I have a big one as well, but he has a shield here that's removable, just like on the large version. But this is just, it's kind of heavy. It's mostly metal. All right. And it's got his big old sword. Not as fancy maybe as the other one. The lion heads don't shoot off on this. They just articulate. That's actually kind of nice. And he's got good knees that bend. I mean, this one's more easier to play with than the big ones, because the big ones they're kind of delicate and things fall off them. And so this one's a lot like just an action figure that you can manipulate around. And see, has the mouths open. And there you go. There's the yellow lion. And look inside. You see it's got like a laser beam, so you can fire a laser beam out of his mouth. See that? See, does that one have it? Yeah, that one has it too. So, all right. And it's got these wings. I always thought Voltron had kind of strange wings. And I guess that's what makes him unique. The wings aren't like other robots that kind of go flat. So this is 2017. Yeah, the Voltron, the new Voltron toys, 2017, and the old one is 1980s. And my small one over there is not 1980s. That's probably also around 2017. I think I got it around the same time as this one. All right, so I'm going to show you the big Voltron. But before I show you the big Voltron, I'm going to show you just the big lion, because I have the center lion to the big new Voltron by itself. All right. And there's a button on the side.
Let's light this thing up.
And it talks.
Fire lasers.
And it talks.
Now we go on the offensive.
See how it lights up there. It's got like rubber claws. No metal on it. It's all plastic, but it's a good heavy gauge plastic. It's kind of like the Power Ranger Megazord plastic, which is really good, like hard, chewy plastic. And you see it's got spring-loaded ratchet joints. You can hear it, so that's nice.
Let's assemble Voltron and get rid of these gull rods.
He always wants to assemble. That's the one thing. He just doesn't seem to be a happy toy unless he's assembled. It doesn't take him much to tell you to assemble. Now look at how these wings kind of fold, double fold. Better than the small Voltron. But still, to me, I think I would have liked them if they were wider. But that's just not the way Voltron's wings are. So there's like a sword sound.
Systems compromised. We will save the universe.
They're going to save the universe, okay? So they got a lot to do.
Voltron is the only thing that can stop Sarkon.
Which means in order, you're going to have to convert to Voltron. You can't just be the Black Lion.
We need to increase firepower.
So what does that mean? They need to turn into Voltron. Okay, it's...
Form Voltron.
So now it's telling me I have to form Voltron. Okay, well, I did form Voltron. Golly, here we go. Telling me what to do. So here it is. Big, gigantic. It doesn't even fit in the camera view. There, knocked over the other Voltron. All right, here he is. Let's back this up here. Make this smaller. There. Now it's still not fitting. Let's go up higher. There we go. Big, legendary Voltron. All right, so you have firing missiles. You got this one here. It's got a rocket that shoots out there. You push a button. It's got that blue missile there. And then you have another blue missile here. And then the blue line does a freezing missile, which also is blue. I think the other missiles, maybe they should have made them a different color. So, all right. So you have the 5 lions. You can see his head's in there. And he talks, right? Oh, you can put the wings up. All right. He's going to say a lot, quite more things than I thought.
Lance, Hook, give me full reverse thrusters. Whatever you say, Shiro.
See, so they talk to each other. So also what's cool with this Voltron is when you assemble the arms and legs, it has a little button that when you click it in, or magnetic button, I think, on these, but on the legs, it's a little switch, and it tells you whether they're all connected or not. So, if it's waiting on a leg, it tells you it's waiting on on the red lion or on the yellow lion. It's waiting.
Now we go on the offensive. Time to heat things up.
Right. So, of course, if you're going to go on the offensive, you're going to use this really cool sword, right? Energy sword.
Lance, Hunk, give me full reverse thrusters.
So those are the names of the characters in the show, a couple of the characters.
Let's do it.
So,
Forward sword. Yes, sir. We need to increase firepower. Now we go on the offensive. It's on. Hold it right there.
see, it says a lot of things.
Pitch. Form shield. Roger that. Let's light this thing up. Fire lasers. Firing lasers now.
So
Form shield.
Okay, so do you want to know how big Voltron is? Well, I'm going to show you. Voltron is gigantic. This ain't no Transformer. I mean, this thing is like Omega Supreme large, which is a gigantic Transformer in the storyline. All right, so this is a spaceship. And a little guy goes, someone goes in there, in the spaceship, and then they land inside, and they control Voltron. All right? Now, control the Black Lion,
Not
actually.
backing down.
It's easy to push the button accidentally.
Time to armor up.
See, he says a lot of things. All right, now, here we go. Here's another ship. All right, so here's your ship for the green. So see that? So I think it's a little, I think that's, the person is in there, that's the head, and they're kind of like, it's sort of like one of those snowmobiles, but sort of like a space mobile. And then that goes in there, and it's rubbery too. So look, so it's kind of you can bend it, and then you have a red one here. Looks just like the other. It's just red, and then the blue and the yellow have one too. Oh, growl.
You dropped a sonic boom on him. Let's see if I can freeze these guys.
Now, my other lion that I had by itself did not say all this. There's something a little bit wrong with the other one. One of the problems is that it would have a difficult time sensing when the yellow lion was attached. So
Hold it right there.
I bought a second one not knowing the other one had a problem. I just bought a second one accidentally, and I lucked out. So here, if you push this button here, you depress it. Let's see if we...
Blue lion, ready for action. Red lion, ready for battle. Green lion, all systems go. Yellow lion engaged. Red, green, black, blue, and yellow lions detected. Voltron
No.
operational.
Okay, well, it's not supposed to detect the yellow line. Okay, well,
Forward sword.
okay, well, now, that's the sound of detection.
Ready for action. Red lion, ready for battle.
Okay.
Green lion, all systems go. Yellow lion engaged. Red, green, black, blue, and yellow lions detected. Voltron operational. Now we go on the offensive.
All right, now let's see if we can get it to not recognize one of the legs. Let's see. Let's try this with the blue one.
Lance, Hunk, give me full reverse thrusters. Don't worry, Zero. I got this. Lance, we're...
Oh,
Blue lion, ready for action. Red lion, ready for battle. Green lion, all systems
okay,
go.
I messed that up.
Yellow
I
lion
think it was about to
engaged.
tell me that
Red,
it...
green, black, blue, and yellow lions detected. Voltron operational.
Okay, let's... All right, I'm going to try this again.
Great work, team. Let's play it cool.
All right, well, that didn't work. Let's try again with the yellow lion. Might as well.
Separation sequence. Engage.
Okay, see? So now it knows. Let's see what it says.
Lance, we're still missing the blue lion.
There you go. See? It's missing the blue lion. It's actually missing both lions.
Hunk, we're waiting on the yellow lion. lion.
See, and it'll tell you it's waiting on the yellow lion. And then when you plug it in,
Look, we're waiting on the yellow lion. Lance, we're still missing the blue lion.
there, now we're missing the blue lion. And we'll put the blue lion back in.
Blue lion, ready for action. Red lion, ready for battle. Green lion, all systems go. Yellow lion engaged. Red, green, black, blue, and yellow lions detected. Voltron operational.
There you go.
Voltron complete.
There you go.
Targeting road beast. Form shield.
Quite a capable robot. All right, so I am going to take this apart into all its separate big lions because this one actually, each lion has some pretty cool features. So hang on. Okay, so if you get tired of him talking, there's an off button there. Okay, so the black lion. Here's how we get the black lion out. And that just folds out there. These transform really easily, unlike a lot of transformers. You know, you don't have a lot, not very complicated. So the playability is rather quick, which is nice. And that folds down. Doesn't have like all those missiles like the older one though, but just big missiles. All right, so there's your big black lion. All right, and then there's your tail. You can turn that back on. And then
Voltron is the only thing that can stop Sarkon.
yep, the only thing. All right, so I'm gonna get the other lions. All right, well, I was gonna show you all the other lions and how I transformed them to the legendary Voltron, but I accidentally did not hit record. So I will show you those in a second, but in the meantime, I put together the big old Voltron, the original, and you can see quite impressive looking, and you can see it next to the smaller Voltron that is all plastic. And this one is, you know, more than half of it is metal. So it's very heavy for a toy. I'd say it's probably 3 or 4 pounds. And, you know, quite impressive. Lots of rockets and missiles and things. Missiles here and there and there. And missiles on its, you know, elbows. And then those 2 missiles are flipped up. So a lot of opportunities to lose your missiles when you're playing with it. The only thing about these older toys, too, is that they didn't really have oftentimes a good way to lock pieces in. So the arms fall off easily. And I think the tinfoil trick might be the trick to hold those on in the future. He also tends to kind of fall forward because it's heavy. And they just didn't have a lot of good ratcheting and clicking back then like they do now. But still a really impressive toy. All right, so let me get to the legendary. Here's your accessories. And, oh, the bag of all those extra missiles and things, right? So all those can go in the bag. All right, so the lions to the legendary Voltron. Here's the green lion. So what's nice about the green lion is you can stick the shield and his gun on the back, so you don't have to worry about losing parts. The shield can come off. And so can this, oh, and it shot the missile. And so can the missile. And then you could take the shield if you want and put it here, or even flip it the other way. And when it's an arm on Voltron, then he can have the shield up there. So the green line becomes the left arm. Now, what I wanted to show you is how these legs go back inside. Now the back legs are very easy. They just bend up and tuck in, okay? And you can just kind of, you know, manipulate those. There you go. Manipulate that to go around. The front legs on the green and red lion are different. You have to pull the chest open there, and then you have to see how this pushes in. So you bend that up, and then you fold the leg in. And then you kind of got to manipulate it in there. Okay, and then bend that in. like that. Just fold that up in there. And then that closes up. Well, if I bent it up a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. You can see that. All right, there. Okay, so that clicks in. You see, so that becomes the arm, and then this flips out. This is what locks into the black lion and becomes his arm. So that's, and this pegs in really hard. You really got to put a lot of pressure to pull that back out. Feels like you're going to break it. So far, have not broken it. All right, so that's how you convert the green lion back into an arm. And the red lion does the same thing. So the way that the front forearms disappear into the torso. And, you can bend it like that, and then it has a missile up there. This one used to come out, but the plastic cracked. So I shoe glued it, my favorite glue, shoe glue, and now it's permanently affixed. But it still spins, and there's no reason to take it off anyway, because I don't want Voltron to not have all his weapons. Anyhow, the blue lion, all right, so the blue lion is in lion form like this. He's got a spring mouth, and this flips around. So when, this is his cold ray laser, when he's a leg, this has to be attached upside down like that. You see, and then his head goes forward. Well, this actually moves out of the way, and then the head goes forward, and you see that becomes a leg like that. And then these back legs fold in very simply like that. And then Voltron, the black lion's legs just go in there and lock in, and then this is a little bit of a lever that allows you to release the black lion's foot or leg from inside there. So it really pegs in really well. All right, so that's how the blue lion operates. Now, the yellow lion is the one that's really unique. So the yellow lion, they all have different faces too. See, look. See that? You might have missed that. And look at the green lion. I'm sorry, the blue. Compared to the green, and then look at the red. So they're all different, right? Isn't that neat? This has got a really big face, and then of course the black lion, very different as well. But maybe they like the yellow lion the most because it looks a lot like a lion, because the yellow lion has a really cool disc system. So on the original Voltron, right, it has that little tiny disc. Well, this has these big blue energy discs. So this piece here snaps on, so, he becomes a foot, right? This moves out of the way. It becomes a foot, right, like that. But when you put him in lion form, this snaps on to this here. There you go. And then it has a tension shooter, so the discs are under tension, and you pull this back, this lever back, and it's going to fire a disc out. See that? And fire another one. All right, so got these big blue discs with the V on it, much like the Optimus Primal Beast Machines disc, the big Optimus Primal that talks. So you may have seen that in another video. Did that not that long ago. All right, and there you go, your big rubber flexible tail that just goes in, and you can pull that out, and that's the yellow lion. So, and then all together, right, they form the big giant version of this guy. See, and then you can put the shield down lower on his arm. So one of the points I wanted to make while looking at these Voltrons is that the idea of 5 robots coming together, right? Torso, 2 legs, 2 arms, is not unique to Voltron. You have pretty much all the Megazords do that, right? You have 5 Power Rangers, each one representing an animal, sometimes a vehicle, but most of the time an animal. None of them are 5 lions, but sometimes there is a lion, right? There's a saber-toothed tiger for sure. an elephant, and all kinds of dinosaurs and things like that, and they all combine to form a giant robot. And then you have Transformers, Combiner Wars, and those are 5 and sometimes even 6 robots that combine together to form one giant robot. I don't think any of them really, though, are as big as Voltron on the scale. The people scaled to Voltron would be very tiny, like, half my fingernail, right, in height. The only time that a transformer that I've seen is that size is when it's next to Primus, okay, which becomes a planet. I mean, it's actually even smaller. But the Arc. Now, I have the Arc transformer, the big one, like almost 2 feet tall, and it comes with a little tiny Optimus Prime. That's about half the size of my fingernail. That's actually not quite. I don't think the Arc is probably a little smaller than what Voltron is supposed to be. So Voltron is really a gigantic robot. So to put it on that scale. All right. So we're going to be seeing the Arc, and we're going to be seeing a lot more Power Ranger Megazords in the future, because I have a lot of those. And they do all kinds of combinations of things. So I really look forward to showing you that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.